So this is our new ceramic detailer, which will add great slickness and gloss. It can be used wet and dry and on all surfaces.
Oh, fantastic. So we're looking on applying it to a car that's been ceramic coated, and our customers then can reapply this as and when they feel like it.
For sure, but also very important, you can use it on non-coated cars as well.
Excellent, brilliant.
Let's give it a try. The new Gyeon Ceramic Detailer can also be used as a drying aid. We spray it on a wet or damp panel. Take our silk dryer and then take a soft wipe and give it the final wipe down.
Done? That certainly is the case for me.
Just to get in the mood for the video.
Honestly, we don't.
Give me 2 more minutes.
I just wanted to mention that.
Okay, sorry.
Now I want to introduce you to a product I've been waiting for a long time. The Gyeon Interior Detailer. So, Rich, why do we need another product as an interior cleaner when we already have the vinyl cleaner in our range?
It's a good question, and the answer for that one is simply because vinyl cleaner, it's an excellent intensive cleaner, but it's not the sort of product that we need to use on a regular basis. So this product complements our range by filling a hole and giving us a product that we can use for regular interior detailing, just to remove light dust, finger marks and other blemishes that accumulate on a daily basis in our cars.
So, perfect for the weekly wash then.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I think it has other benefits as well.
It does, yeah. There's some secret sauce in there. So it's actually an alcohol-based formula, which is fantastic because it has a strong purification effect on all of the surfaces that it's used upon. And obviously, in the times we find ourselves in at the moment, that's great because we all have a responsibility to deep clean our cars regularly, and this means that we can keep ourselves and our passengers safer.
Yeah, that's perfect. So, Rich, show them how it's done.
So what makes Interior Detailer so good? Well, the answer is we can use it to quickly refresh and sanitize all interior surfaces. So for example, we can use it on leather, we can use it on plastics, we can use it on touchscreens, and we can use it on trims such as the carbon fiber trim here and chrome trims too. This is brilliant because it means we can quickly clean all high contact areas of the car and ensure we're keeping safe in these difficult times. So how do you use Interior Detailer? The answer is you take a suitable towel, in this case a board wipe, we spray a small amount onto the towel, and then we wipe down the surface that we want to treat, and then we flip the towel to the dry side and buff to give a beautiful smear-free matte finish. So now you are left with a fresh smelling, purified interior that is safe for you and your passengers.
Hi, Craig. As you know, we have some great products for wheel cleaning, but today I want to show you a couple more, which are brand new. So first of all, let's start by wheel cleaning. We have made a real dedicated wheel cleaner, which we call iron wheel cleaner. So it's not only removing iron particles, but it also acts as a cleaner for road.
So this, in terms of additional performance over iron, is this thicker? Is it thinner?
It's a jelly solution, and it clings more to the wheel, and it also has different surfactants for cleaning road grime and not only iron particles.
Oh, excellent. Okay, so it's doing two jobs.
Exactly, because our iron remover was made to remove iron particles, also on the paint, but also on the wheel. But the cleaning power of this is much more on road grime.
No, that sounds absolutely brilliant.
So first thing, then to clean wheels, we thought that wheel mitt in a soft fiber with easy access would be a great thing.
So you're reaching right behind the wheels?
Yeah, to reach behind the spokes, if you have open wheels, to reach deep inside the barrel, which is always a good idea to do it without any other brushes.
Cool.
So completely new wheel mitt. As ice on the cake, when we use our already well-known tire cleaner, we were missing out on a brush. So don't change a winning team when it comes to brushes. I think everybody loves our the leather cleaning leaf-shaped brush. So we made one, but in different material, stiffer brush. So it's not that soft, but it's hard enough to clean into the rubber, right?
Yeah, it's going to get in there. It's going to do the job properly, isn't it?
And it will be chemical resistant, so you can leave it into the water with which you cannot do with the wooden
Float
handles.
on the top?
Float on the top, I will actually have to ask
We'll
the
have to find
engineers
out,
to find out that. So that's third product, and then Tire Express or tire, which we had before, we now have dedicated applicators.
Okay.
And
small and large.
We have two sizes. Yeah, you can open it. So we have two sizes because you always get the comments, but we have in different countries, we have bigger wheels or bigger tires. People are driving SUVs with smaller applicators. So we did it the Gyeon way with logo, edge to get into the rubber, and two sizes. So I think we have now a complete wheel solution.
So a little product goes a long way as usual?
A little goes a long way, as some of our friends say.
That's it, yeah.
And I think we should go out and give them a try. Let me show you some great new products we've added to our wheel lineup. First of all, we have a dedicated wheel mitt with an easy access and super soft fibers. On top of that, finally, an iron wheel cleaner with great cleaning power, and to clean your tires, long-awaited leaf-shaped tire brush, soft but not too soft for great cleaning power, and to finish the ice on the cake on your tires, we have two sizes of tire applicators. Let's see how they work. When starting your wheel cleaning process, it's really important that you never spray any chemicals on hot wheels. So for maximum performance of our iron wheel cleaner on these dirty wheels, I will spray it on a dry wheel. While it's sitting there and working, I will use my tire cleaner and my tire brush to start cleaning the tires. So let's do it. So I take my iron wheel cleaner and I start spraying it liberate amount inside the barrel. Meanwhile, let it sit, take my tire cleaner. Super handy is the leaf-shaped brush. You can get in these edges without damaging the tire and with a great visibility of your brush. So now we let it sit for 1 more minute and we're ready to rinse. So we are now ready to rinse the wheel. just want to show how dirty the wheel really was on the left side. We did a first touch with the new iron wheel cleaner, which already gave it like 85% of cleaning power. Okay, we've used iron cleaner for the first time. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna respray the wheel because it was really dirty with our iron wheel cleaner, and we have our wash bucket with our wheel mitt, and we will softly agitate the inside and the top side of the wheel. So let's give it a try. After our first rinse, we will now use our iron wheel cleaner and the dedicated wheel mitt for last touch and remove that last bit of road film. We have in our bucket our dedicated shampoo. You can see I can put my hand in the wheel mitt very easily. I spray some product on the wheel. This makes it really easy to go behind the spokes, and even for those to go really fast in and out the mitt. And now we're gonna remove that last bit of road film. You will have zero pressure needed to remove it, so very little chance of scratching your wheels. For the inside, we still have our dedicated wheel brush to reach the deeper parts of the wheel.
Hello, welcome to another Gyeon exclusive. Here at Gyeon, we're always moving forward, and we've been listening to our resellers, distributors and customers. We've expanded our 4-litre range from 5 products to 14, including old favourites and many new products. But can you tell us a little more?
Yeah, sure. So this is our new 4-litre bottle and a fully custom design by Gyeon. It includes also our new labeling, which highlights the product name and the product series, all in our new visual language. Some of them even come with a pump, exactly what our professionals have been asking for and our biggest fans. So it's perfect to refill their favorite products. What do you think, Angela? Will they be popular?
Absolutely. We've had a lot of requests for an expanded 4-litre range. What's your favourite, Bert?
My favorite is the Quick Detailer. I use it every single wash.
Perfect. You needed a 4-litre bottle then.
That's for sure.
So there you have it, an expanded 4-litre range in great new packaging, unmistakably in the Gyeon way.
As Gyeon, the past few years we have been working on extraordinary products. So we redesigned our trigger and made it really our own. So Craig, I'm here to show you the new ones and to talk a little bit about it. As you know, the old one,
Yep.
You've used it
Plenty of times. Very familiar with this one. You know, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it in terms of there was room for improvement. There's things that could have been changed.
New one is here. I will just give it in your hand and just
sure.
give me your first initial thoughts.
So that feels like it feels like it can be there for a longer period of time. Definitely comfortable on the skin and the hand round about there.
We made actually this a bit longer.
Yeah.
So for people with big hands, it feels comfortable and it doesn't have the sharp edge.
Yeah, it's more rounded and tapered.
Yeah, and as Gyeon, of course, we wanted to have it branded. So we have the G on it, the Gyeon way.
Not to forget.
Not to forget.
Yeah.
Really important as well is when you see the size of the trigger on its own. We have a 3-finger trigger now.
Yeah, so grip.
Yeah, different pressure, and it leaves a very nice mist. So I really want to show you.
Okay,
so
let's give it a go.
I'll give this one.
Yep.
So I will do the old trigger and show you the mist. Yeah.
Okay.
You try the new one.
Cool.
So this is actually this is actually the spray. So
okay.
we can turn it around. So I'll do another one just to compare, and you do it.
Okay. More atomized. More.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. That's really good.
So and product-wise, it will also be. Product-wise, it will also be very easy to have much more product evenly dispersed.
Yeah, so you're essentially saving in terms of product cost. You get a less amount of product spread across a larger area. And then to direct that product as well, if you wanted to, you can get it maybe inside of door shuts or door hinges, around wheels.
That was the idea.
Into arches as well.
It also looks very cool. You see your product going through the trigger.
Mm-hmm.
So really,
where are we in terms of like chemical resistance?
Very good point. The trigger inside is completely chemical resistant.
Mm-hmm.
Even it has no metal parts inside. So for products like iron and everything, it will have no issues at all. It was specially designed with that purpose in mind. So
I think it's absolutely brilliant. Looking forward to many more trigger spraying in the future. Yeah, awesome.
So you see at Gyeon, every single detail is important. We really care about it, and I hope you like this one and use it very, very often. See you soon. Ciao.
Hello everyone. Today we have a very interesting, very different and very exciting Gyeon premiere for you. So at the moment, over the last few years, the Gyeon brand is growing enormously all over the world, and our customers are constantly exposed to the look of our products, the look of our advertisements around the world, and the typical kind of brand identity that we've cultivated. But what we don't see publicly often is the true universe that encapsulates everything Gyeon behind the scenes. We want to take the opportunity now to share our story more deeply with our customers and our fans, and talk a lot about the Gyeon family, how everybody in the background works hard for the brand, and to share their stories and to look at how the wider automotive interests of the people in the Gyeon family come to the fore when we're thinking about how to push the brand forward. So without further ado, we'd like you to introduce you to the concept of the first Brandzine, which is called the G-Mag. And to talk a little bit more about the concept, I'll hand over to Angela.
Thanks. So as Richard said, the idea behind the G-Mag is to express more about the brand, because the brand isn't just the packaging or the products, it is the people behind the brand, and the feeling of being involved in the brand and using the products and the experience. So I'll show you a little bit about the magazine. The first thing to note is that the magazine is coated, as all things should be. And then within the magazine, our designers and the Gyeon family have worked hard together to show more than just the corporate image, the things that you see every day on the shelves. So we have some expression of the Gyeon branding in much different ways, but they show more about the family and the brand and the people behind it. So you've got the Gyeon way, which we have up here as well, which is not the way you would normally see things. It just shows more about the way that people behind the brand express themselves and how we all feel about being involved with the brand.
There's some kind of nice technical sort of changes we see in the brand identity there as well. We can see straight away. The fonts look pretty different to what we usually see.
And the different images that we've used with the branding involved, but it's not a standard picture of just a product.
We can kind of see from that concept that what we're trying to achieve here is letting ourselves off the leash and actually revealing a side of Gyeon that's much more kind of liberal and freestyle, taking our brand elements and building them into the concepts, but then telling stories with them at the same time. So thinking about some of the stories, we've got some excerpts here that we'd like to just share with you. Maybe the first one there's actually probably one of the most recognizable ones that people will want to know more about.
Yes, the first one is that we've picked out ourselves that we really like is an interview with the detailing guru, Yves Halen. It's a really, really interesting article. It tells you a lot about his passion for both cars and detailing and the Gyeon brand. So it's a really good one to see. We have a good variety of things in the brand, Brandzine, which will tell you a bit more.
We also have some features as well, just looking at some of our history and some of the story and the game-changing products that we've released over the years. So we want to share our story and the things that we're most proud of with our fans as well, and the products that have really become bestsellers on the market for us and have pushed ourselves forward constantly.
I find that one also expresses a lot more than just the standard corporate image as well, with the changing of the fonts. It's much more expressive.
Yeah, we can play a lot more with the actual wording and the way that it pushes everything, which is really nice, gives it a real magazine feel.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of variety in there. We've also got an article about the Gyeon Experience Centre, which we're at right now. Great place to be, really good for training. Shows you quite a lot of the different parts of the GC and the different options you have when you're here. It tells you a lot about it. So that's really cool. You'll really learn about it, but being here is definitely the best way to experience it.
We also like to share the stories of the people in the Gyeon family and in our network. So we have a lovely section in there that's going to show off some of the incredible studios of some of our certified detailers around the world. So you'll get to see really nice photography of their studios. And again, it's showing the global family and how we have variation across the world, but still working to the same incredible, excellent standards. So that's a really nice article. They're amazing studios, some of them really impressive. This one I think is my favourite. This is an article about Brock Keane, who is a serial entrepreneur in the US, and he bought a rooftop tent for his Range Rover, but it didn't fit. So it's now on his Porsche 996 4S. Yeah. Really interesting, very cool thing to do. So this was a really cool one. He travels around the US on a beach and through the snow. Maybe taking your 996 off-road isn't the best idea, but he says it's entirely possible. So definitely inspirational. For sure. Sounds like a fun thing to do. Absolutely, and one of the stories that really inspired me as well was actually about UK-based photographer Amy Shaw. I think, you know, it's quite rare, I think, in the industry and automotive in general for incredibly talented ladies to be properly celebrated and recognised for the sheer quality of their work. So Amy's been a professional photographer for 7 years now. She specialises in classic car photography, loves events like the Goodwood Revival, and her photography is just insanely brilliant in that it gives an incredibly timeless feel to everything that she shoots. You know, you're looking at images here which, you know, you could actually think, wow, I'm back in, you know, the 1930s, but actually, you know, this was shot last week, and it's just a beautiful aesthetic, and it's a lovely story about her journey and how much passion she has for automotive as well. So that one was my favourite in the whole Brandzine, for sure. I think you have the last one there, which everyone will love. We also want to incorporate a little bit of fun as well, and so we have a lovely article in there about detailing dogs and the certified detailers who love to bring their loved ones into the studio with them to work. You sometimes need emotional support as a detailer. It's a very, very tough career choice. A lot of long hours, and you know, having your loved one there with you to guard the car and keep you company is something that we wanted to share as well. So lots of lovely stories and pictures for you to enjoy on that one too. So yeah, we hope you've really enjoyed that insight into the behind the scenes and the true kind of universe that encapsulates Gyeon and the things that drive our passion and fuel the constant push for the brand to move forward. We hope when it comes out and you enjoy it, and we look forward to making more in the future.
Remember, you never get a second chance to make the first impression. So I invited these two guys that learned it the hard way to tell you all about it. Have a good
Thanks,
chat,
Steve.
guys.
Craig,
Yeah.
you have a detail studio in the UK, very reputable, looking
you.
awesome. Tell us, how do you make your first impression?
Sure. So maybe like yourself, there was some things that we got wrong the first time.
Exactly.
Like experiences are, you improve, you change, you adapt. You know, I think the first couple of mistakes that I made was lighting and not understanding the importance of lighting, choosing cheap materials, cheap equipment. They broke, and it just. And then once as we started to develop over time, those materials, the equipment changed into better lighting, lighting that made more sense. And then just slowly but surely, as the confidence grew in what I was doing, it inspired the confidence of our customers to come in. And it just kept coming and coming and coming, because it just demonstrated that we meant what we were doing. I was happy to keep reinvesting small and large amounts of money, knowing that we could just keep continually rolling out quality work.
Yeah. So somebody's coming to your shop. First of all, they have to get to your shop.
Yeah.
So that's also a part we're going to talk about later. But they come to your shop, they enter your shop. On the outside, does it have to look nice, or do you say, look, I want to impress you with what I can do, and I will show you that I'm well equipped to do so, and inspire confidence that way? Like somebody enters, they see the cars similar to theirs, so they're like, okay, these guys know what they're talking about because they're working on a similar car. And as you said, you have to equip it the right way. We all have to start somewhere.
Definitely. Yeah.
But what would you say to the Craig from 15 years ago if you would be able to talk to him now? Would you give different advice than what you've done? Certainly is the case for me.
Obviously, we don't. If I met anybody, including myself, from 15 years ago, say you don't want people to make mistakes, but those mistakes put you in a position where who is going to be stupid enough to make the same mistake twice? And you need to make that mistake to improve on it, and to avoid someone making those mistakes could actually inevitably be wrong. You can advise someone to say it will be ideal if you didn't, but to really learn by that mistake, or to improve on that initial first mistake, you're never going to have that experience until you make those errors. It's organic. It's not a class of trying to be perfect the first time. You are a better business and you're a better person for making those mistakes, as long as you don't make them twice.
True, but that's a long process.
It is a long process, yeah.
I've gone through it for a long time, but I think we are in a position to help people not have to go through that long learning process.
It does, yeah.
So we can hand them the tools, we have them here in front of us, to make that first impression straight away in the right way. Of course, they need to learn from their mistakes, implementing it, but we're there to help them. So when somebody comes into your shop, as you said, right appearance, right cars, and then it's up to you to then talk to the customer and inspire confidence by talking to him, by explaining it to him, and doing everything you need to show him that he's made the right choice entering in your shop. In my case, I feel that if somebody enters my shop, the sale is 99% done. It's just a matter of confirming what the customer already thought he came for. Inspiring him about the different options there are, and helping him make the right decision. But basically, when he enters, it should just make the right impression and confirm why he's there.
It starts off at that journey. Yeah, it's that journey. It's establishing what that journey is. Where do they start? What are they typing in? If it's an internet inquiry, is it a phone call? Who are they going to be presented with by on that phone? Who's representing your business? And then usually as someone turns up, it's usually the final step. You've sent them quotes, or you've discussed what their needs might be over the phone or via email. Are you accurate in your answers in terms of the questions that they have for you? And confidence and making that impression, it can be done right at the very, very start, without even meeting or seeing a studio, without even seeing anyone's work. It could be just the simple case of the way you answer the phone. So it bleeds, the impression bleeds into all aspects of areas across the business, and we can have a well lit or a great looking studio, but if that doesn't translate through all the other areas of the business, that it makes no sense.
I fully agree.
So as you know, so you know, like your setup, you know, it's phenomenal, but it's function. It's functional. It produces quality of the work. With you know, obviously the men that are involved to produce that work is important, but without giving them the right environment, the right tools, you just simply aren't going to get that quality of work. So it all helps. You know, we spend a long time in our premises producing that work. It needs to be a comfortable environment anyway. But obviously, to produce that quality of work, it helps if the lighting is bang on. It's always going to work. It's not, someone's not going to walk in and it's flickering.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's because you bought those.
Or you can't see.
You can't see.
Like,
yeah.
You could suggest to the customer, bring your car in, because he might think it looks okay.
Yeah.
If then you just say, drive it in, we'll inspect it together with you.
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
he drives it in. You have the nice lighting that shows all the defects. And then you have a car next to it, which you're working on, and you can show him this is the state we can bring your car to.
Lighting is a massive thing, because in terms of lighting, I always get asked like where, what, and why. Is each individual light position, the type of light, they all give you different readings, as you know. So it's all there for not just to look pretty, and it has a reason. And you know, from an art point of view, which is obviously what people, how they treat this detailing industry, and saying they're artistic in what they achieve, is in terms of, would you spend that amount of money and time and on your equipment and your efforts, and then produce that artwork, as you would call it, and display it in an area that doesn't justify all your efforts?
You have to cover all the bases.
Or would you make a video that doesn't complement your work? It just doesn't seem to be.
Phone camera. Or
that's
something.
right. You know, so it all has to blend.
Yes.
Very, very good, and the customer will notice that.
Yeah.
It's not just about, you know, buying the most expensive camera you can find and taking a video or a picture and making something bad look good. Inevitably the customer will make that choice. You know, you convince them and make that impression the best as you can, but you know, it's more than what it looks like. You know, it's everything. It starts from the very beginning of the, like I say, the inquiry, right down to the end of the customer experience, and after that,
yes, aftercare,
it just keeps going. So and that's where what we try to aim for continuously. So yeah, it's massive.
Covering all the bases.
Yeah.
Before they get to the shop, but via the website, which should look, as you said, on par with what you're producing. The phone calls, people calling, them getting the response they need.
Responses are also important.
Social media.
Yeah,
we haven't
yeah.
covered that bit yet, but
responses
also very
are
important.
massive.
And as you said, that it matches. So you're not overselling something, because then you're going to lose a sale when they come in. And on the other way around, if you're producing massive work and a great quality of work, you should be able to show it off the right way as well.
Yeah.
So it has to all come together.
Definitely. I mean,
and that first impression should convert to a sale 99% of the time.
yeah, it's as Eve said, you only manage to do it once, you know, and it's massively important. But to just keep going over the same thing in terms of the appearance of your studio, it plays a massive part. And in terms of displaying your work in the best formal way as you possibly can, it helps. And but it's not just about how it looks. It's obviously the work that is produced from it as well. You know, it is. Obviously, the customer needs to be happy and satisfied with the work that you've created, regardless of where the work was done. You know, it's all proof is in the pudding, as they say. You know, so, yeah.
Exactly. Well, looking around in the network, we see a lot of people doing really good stuff. So I would suggest have a look at the certified detailers on our profile. We help out massively, helping those people along with everything we have. We even help design studios, we provide banners, we provide content. So make use of it. We offer it, use it, and you will make the right first impression.
Cool.
Thank you, Craig.
I totally agree. Thank you.
So we want you to know that we are talking with everybody around the world about their situation because we are always concerned. And this time we're going to talk with Jeff from Gyeon USA.
Hey.
Hi, Jeff.
How are you, sir?
Man. Hey.
Looking good. Well played.
Looking good. I tried to copy you to look as handsome, but I didn't succeed. That's why I took on my glasses to look intelligent. You have to compensate, right?
Best of both worlds. Handsome and smart.
All healthy?
Yes, good. Very healthy, happy, busy, all is well.
Okay. So, question I want to ask you. We did some calls previously with other guys around the world. And how has COVID so far been having an influence on the business? And what did you do to act or react on certain situations?
Yes, definitely. Both from the service side and product side, it was. I think we got very, very lucky in the States. We watched what happened. Europe, Italy, France, a lot of these markets that were really completely taken over, and luckily for us, for most of the country, it was a 6 to 8 week disruption. And then there was a lot of opportunity to be had if you could kind of dive in a position to do so, and really make some big impacts on the business. So I'd say April was tough. Half of May, when a lot of fear, not that it was unfounded, but the media, the local governments, it was the hot topic. A lot of closures. And it's something, it's very state specific here. So some local economies were open and able to operate, while others were completely locked down. Some segments of those economies were able to open and operate in the same market, while other segments were completely locked down. So it was a complete roll of the dice what your local and state government was doing, and then how the local community reacted to that. Based on cases and population and death rates. So it was a bit all over the place for a few months. And
because in US you have not very much a mobile detailing going on. Having like now, from our perspective last SEMA, the mobile detailing coatings and everything, has that helped, or is also mobile depending on which state? Did it change? I mean, more people looked for a mobile solution, or how did it affect that?
Yeah, a bit of both. So, in the local lockdowns, you had all these designations of essential businesses. And in most states, the automotive use was pretty broad in terms of what could stay open, service, repair. If you serviced other essential businesses, there was the opportunity to stay open. And I also think it was a very personal decision, past the regulation. I think there were just as many business owners that didn't want to stay open and expose themselves to the potential danger, expose themselves or their clients to the potential danger. So it was a mix. I think everybody kind of froze April and the first half of May. Because you didn't really know who was open, who wasn't, what was the danger, how were the businesses handling it and securing employees and staying safe. So I think, I don't know that I noticed a big difference in mobile versus fixed shop, because you had people that, just as many people that didn't want to take their car somewhere, were also nervous of somebody coming to the home and bringing it in that way. But I think the biggest challenge was most consumers just didn't know who was open and who wasn't. So
what about then online? Did online do something?
Online up, online DIY product sales. I think we saw a major market shift in people's buying behavior, and I think the next few years will continue to present a huge opportunity in online sales and education. You took this car care enthusiast audience who might be used to buying at a local auto parts store, your O'Reilly's, your AutoZone, whatever it is, on the weekends. that now didn't have the opportunity to acquire their day-to-day products there, so they shifted online. You know, and the big online resellers were in a great position to absorb just that traffic that couldn't go to the walk-in store. And for a lot of brands, it also exposed that client segment who would never see, you know, a brand on a you know, a whatever, a Walmart, a Target, a very general retail use store where, you know, Turtle Wax, the Mothers, the McGuire's dominate the shelf space. Now they are exposed to a different brand, a different message, a different set of tools. So I think it really presented a cool scenario for both the consumer to see more, to experience more, to see a different level of detailing online than they might have ever had, and a great opportunity for other brands to get in front of a new consumer set. And then just the overall uptake in online sales, I think we're going to see for a long time.
Did you, in Denver, did any specific action, like what you're not used to do because of the situation?
Yeah, there was a few challenges, right? There was the personal challenge to overcome first, right? Because as a small business owner, with, you know, we have a service business here, we have a distribution business in the States. I can definitely say I bit the fear hook hot and heavy, you know, late February or late March, early April. There was just no way to know what this was going to present. You know, I was planning on this is a 6-month problem. It has to be at least a 6-month problem. It was a 6-month problem. You know, I run my businesses pretty conservatively. You know, I was like, we'll be okay. If it's a 9 to 12-month problem and we're seeing just, you know, bodies in the streets like we were seeing on the news, we are not going to be okay if this is a 9 to 12-month scenario. And, you know, just, you know, thank whoever you thank. In Denver specifically, it was about a 6 to 8 week market disruption. So I made some shifts in the business to conserve cash and plan worst case scenario, you know, right off the bat, and kind of operated that way for the first 4 to 5 weeks, you know, most of April, a bit of May. You know, the phones were dead. Luckily, we on the service side, we book ahead. On the product distribution side, we're pretty B2B and sell through the Auto Geeks, the Detailed Images, the Esoterics, Detailing.com. Yeah. So we had a broad spectrum of not any one market being overly affected. So I think the first thing then was to get a hold of my personal fear and anxiety and step up out of that and go, all right, man, I made myself a little note, man, because there was weeks of sleepless nights. I took a little sticky note and I put it on my bottom of my computer screen. It just said, work your way out of this, because I was watching the news more than I ever watched the news, man. I'm looking at
many inputs from
death rates and cases, and I'm like, I was consuming myself with stuff that I can't control, man. So I just said, all I can control is what's in my little circle, and I'm gonna bust my tail. And I just wrote and I just looked at it every day, man. Work your way out of this. Work your way out of this. What we do? So you know, it was that reassessment and realignment of myself personally, and then going, okay, where's the opportunity, man? There's always an opportunity when you're steering the ship of the business. It's scary, it's intimidating, it's not for sure, but there's opportunity.
And the unknown as well, you know, because it's for everybody.
Definitely, you just plow through it. So it was, you know, from distribution side, it was, you know, ridiculously close with resellers and calling everybody a couple times a week. What are you seeing? What are the trends? What are the patterns? How's this affecting your business?
I think it's really important that you keep on having the personal touch, because this is one of the things that this year, not only me, but a lot of the guys of the team will miss. We will not see each other like the usual SEMA breakfasts on coffee and cookies. Yeah, you know, these ones, it's very important. I will miss them. But
I
hope we will have
the personal touch. You know, one of the opportunities in speaking with resellers was just stock. You know, I think Gyeon at the factory level does such a good job of inputs to the business. You know, where I know other brands were having problems sourcing a bottle cap, sourcing you know, inputs where we had stock. So I got to call these resellers who are trying to drive their business forward as well and say, hey, product. I've got stock, we're good, what do you need, how can we support? You know, the Gyeon factory never missed a beat, you know, shut down for weeks. So that was an awesome competitive advantage.
We try to do, the guys at the factory try to do the maximum, but it's always nice to hear input from everybody else around the world. The only thing is that it's much nicer to have you around and to be able to interfere, not by computer, but
Yes.
nice to hear you, and I hope that in 2021 we are able to have the coffee and breakfast together again with the whole team at SEMA, right? So guys, I hope you liked this interview with Jeff. More videos to come, and stay tuned. See you soon. Ciao, and stay safe. Welcome to the Gyeon live show. Buenos dias, bom dia, bonjour tout le monde. Goedemorgen, middag. And for my Russian friends, dobre dzień. Buongiorno for my Italian ones. Today we have here Craig from Staffordshire Car Care, UK.
Hi.
That's also a way to say. Hi, how are you? All good?
Yeah, how are you?
Okay, fine. I invited you to talk a bit about PPF versus coating. So, give me some of your thoughts.
Two entirely different materials, two completely different purposes. You've got mechanical impact, road rashing coming from the lower halves, obviously from the road, immediately hitting those lower halves of the car. Just simply ceramic coating can't protect. So it's offering those additional purposes in terms of easy cleaning, nice levels of gloss, and then to solve that all important purpose of protecting those areas that would normally get stone chipped and road rashed.
Which one, without talking about purpose, do you prefer?
The one that does the job properly, in terms of, if there's a criteria, I want those, those areas protecting on my car to stop those stone chips or reduce those impacts happening, then the result would be simply you choose PPF. But if the criteria is different in terms of obviously all the benefits that come from a ceramic coating, then you would choose a ceramic coating or the combination of both.
So when people ask you, as in UK, what do I have to choose, PPF or coating? It's not a question of this one and not this one. It's something that can...
Yeah, there's a very clear line between, they solve problems, and until you get to the problem, to the bottom of what the problem is, therefore then you can offer a solution. And for the first time ever, we have that solution now from Gyeon, which is the PPF.
Because I'm going to be honest, I was never a big fan of PPF, because from a detailer's perspective, the PPFs that have been going on for some while now, when you put it on a nicely polished, I'm talking detailer perspective, not customer perspective, you put it on a paint that you polished and you made nice, and then we look at it and you see distortion of field. And so I think we did a pretty good job by the
You did a very good
PPF
job
now.
Absolutely brilliant. I mean, it has, to get from an instance, a show car that you're presenting into a crowd of people who are all going to heavily scrutinise it, and then someone turns around and says, I categorically can't tell the difference between my paint and the PPF surface. For us, that's just solved that problem. You spend hours, making a car paint surface look beautiful, and then on goes a surface of a material to solve a problem, which actually creates another issue. Recently, we've been removing PPF from our cars because now people are more aware that there's an alternative option. To get, obviously, people are aiming for that. I don't want to see my film. I don't want to see that it's there. I have a beautiful car. I don't want to see it. And therefore, with PPF, in the past has been that issue. It is clearly visible. You can see it. It's there. And all that time and effort that has been put into the machine polishing side of things, it's disheartening to get and then put an unclear material on top. that isn't the issue anymore. You're putting PPF on and you can cast your eye down the side of it. You can look down the side and you just can't see it. It's so clear.
And now, I mean, we did want to put a hydrophobic top coat on it because it will give you, in installing a one go, the benefits of hydrophobicity and self-cleaning of a coating, having clarity that it's super close to clear paint. It's just install-wise, it's completely different way of putting it on a car than a coating.
It's complicated. PPF requires a massive amounts of skill. A skill that it could take years and years and years, and appreciate that there's a certain required skill set that to get it on and do it perfectly. It's a very difficult thing to achieve. However, with the combination and with more variety that's available to customers or our customers when it comes to which one do you choose, and do I choose this, do I choose that, or can I have both, is that you don't have to have this conversation is by saying put a PPF on your car, but don't forget that we need to put a ceramic coating on top to make it consistent like the rest of your car does. So those behaviours that people have come to be aware of beading, easy cleaning.
Sorry to interrupt you, and it's also a matter of budget in the end as well. It comes at a certain price tag. Not everybody wants to pay for it, and depending the purpose of the car, because a lot of people now these days are tracking tracking their cars. For impact of stones, it can be removed afterwards, redone. Your cars with original paint, which sometimes are highly valuable. Yeah, it has a purpose next to a coating. It's not something that, in my opinion, should stand alone. Oh, we do only PPF, and because you do only PPF, you don't need any ceramic coating.
It just fits perfectly. In both materials just solve those long list of issues that people present us on a day-to-day basis. The hydrophobic benefits are from when the PPF is installed, and then the hydrophobic benefits once a ceramic coating is concerned. You've just got this complete problem resolves package that fixes those road rash issues, makes the car easy to clean, and it's just a complete package. It's just peace of mind that you can turn around and offer your customers pretty much 99% of the solutions to their problems.
Would you personally suggest PPF on, because this is something in education to customers, on older cars with older paint, classic cars and so on? Because I see sometimes people putting PPF on classic cars with, let's say, original paints. It's also, you have to be aware of certain things that can occur, because in the end it's something plastic you put on a paint.
It's the adhesive, isn't it? So it's obviously the substrate underneath has to be as strong as it possibly can be before. What's the point in saying I would like to preserve this paint, and then the PPF does its job in terms of an impact. It saves the paint, but then you go to remove that film and you take paint with it. It doesn't solve the problem.
It needs maintenance as well. It's not because you put PPF on the car that you don't need to, okay, now we have our car PPF, we can park it for 5 weeks under a tree, don't look at it, and everything will stay the same.
No, I mean there is that, for the first time in a while, there's an issue, you've got a solution. From a Gyeon's point of view, it's always nice to see that something's been thought of first before, and they're considering in terms of, there is a PPF material now that we can put on a car, but now we can be clear in terms of how these are the materials to look after it. So it's easy, you want to wash your car, you've got PPF, PPF wash, it's just simple.
So that's actually, for me personally, it's something that should be proposed as a complementary thing to a car. When somebody comes in for, okay, we want this or this, it's for you to assess, okay, what are your expectations? Do you want this? Then this is the only solution. And then on top of that, there are possibilities on ceramic coating, no?
Yeah, it's just having those solutions to the problems that our customers present to us on a daily basis.
Pick the one that's suited for you.
For me, it's again, give me some certain criteria. Do I track my car? Is it going in circles around a track on a regular basis? yes,
PPF.
then therefore PPF is going to be, you know, the beauty about PPF is it can be applied to the areas that are vulnerable the most. So if you know, if your car's going around a track, it needs that front end protection and all those lower halves. Does it need to look beautiful while it's going around a track? It'd be ideal, yeah. I mean, it's a sports car, it's a track car.
To conclude now is that having our two possibilities of PPF and having Gyeon coating, there is no more, how would I put it, there is no more excuse not to have it or not to be protected on your car. So if you have any more questions later on, check us out live. Many people know how to clean the outside of their car, but often there's also an inside to be cleaned, and in specific leather. So maybe it's a good idea to talk about how to clean leather and how often to clean leather. So
It's
Craig,
important. Yeah, it's definitely important.
What's your thought about it?
Yeah, as you know, lots of different types, which many people are aware of. You know, they see leather or a vinyl on their seats and they assume it's leather. And every single different material requires not a different approach, but an adjustment in their strength of material they're using, their approach in, you know, maybe wiping, what type of cloth, is, you know, dense fibres, soft fibres, a stiff brush, a light brush. So there's lots of things that get
What I'm a bit astonished about is that people clean like sometimes twice a week their car on the outside, wheels inside, tires, spokes, spend a lot of time, and then you get inside the car and then it's vacuum, but then you see the leather and you're like, man, have you ever touched the leather? Yeah,
well, I mean, it's maybe just knowledge. There's not enough information out there, you know, in terms of how to do it properly, or what's the most immediate product that you do grab to clean it. You know.
What's your first indication that you use when you like, okay, open the door, leather a car? What's your first indication of dirt that you save on? Oh, this leather needs cleaning.
My personal approach is how do we incur the least amount of damage to the material, the most gentle, you know, in terms of material, what's going to remove what we can see, and just start scaling up from there. You know, the softer approach that you can take to cleaning it. So if we've got like a heavily soiled, you know, you can see all those little tiny greasy lines in between the grains of the leather. We know we need to get into there, but you also need to be softened first by a product. They need to be settled in to start loosening them off, and then you can work that product in. So colours of leather make a massive difference, you know, in terms of, you know, the cream. There's a colour involved, and that, if the chemical or the product is too strong, can dilute that colour or start to remove it.
I think one of the problems these days is that a lot of people, and now with the modern cars, because we have a big difference in the older leathered cars, like the old Rolls Royces, Bentleys, Ferraris, the known Connolly leathers, which were sometimes full aniline, is that people have no clue anymore if it's actually leather.
Well, feeders used to be a big thing, was it?
Or water droplets on leather, and see how, if it soaks, if it doesn't soak in. But now these days, for example, BMW, you have, like, for example, M models have merino leather. Merino leather is like non-coated. It's a full grain leather. But then you have, so you're switching to Napa, which is already has a kind of coat on it. Then you have Dakota, and then you have even the full lower line of Sensatec, which is actually no leather anymore. So it's getting harder and harder for people, even in the industry as a professional,
to distinguish those differences.
Exactly, and then to choose wisely after assessment what to use as product.
So that's why our approach is to start off as soft as you possibly can, and you know, the great thing with a leather cleaner is the fact that it takes that in consideration. That it has a concentration level. From my opinion, is that it's straight there amongst the middle. It will maintain a clean seat. So if you've, or a clean leather. So if it's been previously, you know, coated in the past, or it's a brand new car, it's going to be gentle, in my opinion, to keep it nice and looking new. and therefore if you do get a car that's been used on a regular basis, you've got the natural oils that come from your skin, and you know, that people use hand conditioners or skin creams that you know, and they essentially bury the dirt into the grain of the material. That it's got a strength there to break those down, to be cleaned, and it's. You know.
You're also a fan of the foam pump?
Foam works really well because it's with sprays. You can't always control where that fan. If you want to directly spray onto your leather, you can't always control where it's landing. But the foam is more direct, and it gets to where you want it to be.
Actually, real leather it doesn't love water. Yeah?
No,
so if you create foam, you try to make a kind of solution to have it not watery and
so
do the products do the work. So I think foam is the best way to.
I think so. Yeah, no, I totally agree. You know, it's just having those alternative solutions to solve the problems that you're facing. But then, how do you educate your customer or the owner of the vehicle to continually maintain? If it's been heavily cleaned, you've got all that dirt out of it, and let's say, for instance, you put a coating or a protection on it. What instructions do you give to the customer to maintain?
Would you say if you do like a weekly wash on a daily driver let's say weekly outside wash on a daily driver, that every 3 washes you do a minimum mild wipe down with Is that something that you could?
Okay, well, for me it'll be load a bold wipe, or if you've got more, you know, depends on the characteristic of the leather. So if you've got a flat seat with less bulges or weaves or diamond patterns or anything like that, you know, a bald wipe would be perfect. It's going to be wiped across the seat fine. But if you need to get more fibres into those little cracks and crevices, just a little light spray onto a cloth and just simply wipe over, flip it and dry. You know, for me that's just perfect amount. You know, it's not going to be aggressive in terms of remove any of those materials that you said that exist on top of different types of leathers. It's just going to keep on top of it, nice and easy.
Talking about bald wipes and wiping off, I clean leather always with white towels. And when people ask me, why do you clean leather with white towel? And say, I don't use brown toilet paper neither.
Definitely.
It's a way to see whether it's really dirty
definitely.
or clean.
There is an indicator.
You really can be surprised from how dirty the leather
but sometimes, I advise some of my customers in terms of, if you can see something, well, what is it? You know, those things that you're looking or seeing, especially on a white towel, is it just a combination of dust? Is it just dust? That just your fibres from your clothes are just settled overnight, or you come to it and you're not actually removing dirt. It's just a build-up of dust. Which do you need any kind of harsh product to remove dust?
Before starting with the procedure, for sure, I make sure that it's the dust and everything is free before you start. So. To end this conversation up, it's not only about cleaning the cars on the outside, don't forget your interior.